I consider it to be kind of a stealth car. When I'm driving down the freeway, people pass by me quickly and then all of a sudden slow down and come back and take another look. It seems to be the kind of car that people say, wait a minute, what the heck was that? It's very different from anything else you can see without being completely in your face. My name is Tom Wilson. I live in Culver City, California. I'm a real estate shopping center developer, and I've lived here in Los Angeles my entire life. This is my 1963 Ferrari 250 GTE Pininfarina Coupe 2+2, which is a mouthful, so that we call it the GTE. They built 954 of these, almost 3 times as many as they built of any other model to date, which changed the company considerably into more of a production company instead of one-off. In 2000, I was talking to a woman at a neighborhood block party. We got talking about cars. I brought up Ferraris, and she said, "Oh, you're like my husband. First day he got his Ferrari was the best day of his life." And I had to say, well, sorry to hear about your husband and what happened to the car. And it turned out that it had been sitting on blocks for almost 20 years in the backyard. And I talked to her. It turned out, thanks to it being a 4-seater, I was able to afford it. So I bought it and proceeded to work on it little bits and pieces as best I could with the minimal skills I had for 20 years until I finally was able to get some kids out of college and afford to be able to do a full restoration. This is the original color combination. It was, according to Pininfarina, the car was Bianco, which is a much brighter white than this, but the dashboard on this car was always the same color as the exterior, and the dashboard was more of a cream color than it was a bright white, so I stuck with that. Probably since it was hand mixed paint, it probably just a little different every day when they do it. Red interior, also correct. I found the pieces of leather underneath that showed me the color that it needed to be. Most of these cars ended up being in the grays and the blues and the blacks because it's a businessman's car, but I'm really excited that I got the white and red one because it's very different and I love the combination. Again, every nut and bolt had to come off this car, so yes, absolutely. It was a long, long haul on the engine especially, and but it's the full-on V12, same as in the racing cars. So it's it takes somebody that really knows what they're doing to be able to fix it and make it right. But it's 240 horsepower. I haven't put it on a dynamometer yet, so I don't know if it really gets that. It was actually significantly lower than that when it left the factory, but hopefully it's going to be a little bit better now. It's a practical car, and I think that's why it sold so many. I like to say I have a GTO that I can take to the wine country and come back with wine because I have a trunk and nobody else does. We take it up to Santa Barbara and up in those areas, and we can take our suitcases with us and enjoy the car and not have to baby it or hide it or whatever you got to do with a race car. We think about 420 of these cars left of the 954 built. I know quite a few of those people because I've taken over the GTE Register, which it tracks the history of all the 954 cars. So I know people that have these cars all over the world. I've met them in various countries. I've met them all over the United States. And it's a really great community because we have so much involved, so much blood, sweat, and tears invested in these cars, and we can all appreciate what the other guys have done. So the community has been a tremendous help for me and a lot of fun. I've always loved Ferraris. The first time I saw a Dino pass my school bus with Ron Wood behind the seat, it just blew me away. The Dino was a spaceship, and it was the dream car for me until I got inside one and discovered at 6'3" it wasn't the car for me, as most of them are. This one here, again, I found it in the neighborhood. I could afford it, and the more I learned about it, the more I loved it. And when I finally got to drive it, boy, I'll tell you, it was just fantastic. My plan is to drive the heck out of it. And I'm doing that right now, really enjoying it. I have every intention of keeping it. No, I've never thought about selling it. My daughter wants to have it in her wedding. Be a challenge because one of us is going to have to sit in the back seat, and that's not an easy thing to do. But no, I want to just have it as a driver, and I built it as a driver, not as a show car. So over time, I'll slowly, get a little bit closer to original. There's a few things I changed, such as putting an electric fan in so that I can drive it in August in PCH here in California. But overall, I want to just get a little bit better and then drive it. Yeah, the community of GTE drivers is really great. When I bought this car in 2000, it was worth very little. I paid $15,000 for it, and I overpaid by $2,000, I found out later on. It's unloved. It was unloved because of the back seat. There's no fantasy about winning Le Mans in this car. This car took the owners to the golf course, or it may have taken the owner of the team to the racetrack, but it never raced. And that really takes a lot of the value off it. But because of that, it allows me to drive it and not be scared of a multi-million-dollar car and whatever. I can take it out on the street. I can let kids sit in it. I can let other people drive it and experience what I'm experiencing. And that's what I want to continue to do.